than you have. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been on a bunch. I've been on like 3.
And you liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a convenient little... I mean, I didn't go for like a 10-day cruise.
Where did you
go?
go?
It was like 3 days to the Bahamas, Jamaica.
And you just hang out with strangers.
No, you hang out with the people you go with. I mean, I'm not Rob. I'm not going on a Golden Girls cruise by myself. But, yeah.
You went with girlfriends.
I went with my brother a long time ago.
And
so
he
with
liked
family. Yeah, I mean, he's not going on a cruise now. But it's just they're very affordable. You eat together. You know, kids play with all the other kids. You lay around. You buy drink packages, so you don't have to worry about how much money you're spending. It's a huge business.
And hopefully you don't get sick.
Well, yes,
Yeah,
there's
no
that.
kidding.
So Teddy Bridgewater is likely looking for a new team now that Drew Brees has announced he's returning to the Saints. Bridgewater had a solid 2019 season winning all 5 of his starts while Brees was injured, and the free agency market will reportedly be strong for him.
Who said that?
As either a starter or a bridge quarterback for a team in transition.
Okay, I'm having my Tominos segment next hour. Tom Brady, when he goes to the Raiders potentially or leaves New England, the domino effect, the Tominos we're calling it. I think Bridgewater, whoever said he's going to have a strong market, I totally agree with. Who said that?
ESPN.
Yeah, I still agree with it.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, I think we should assume he's going to have a strong market. And he had a great performance, and he was great before this. He was kind of out of sight, out of mind in New Orleans. But coming out and winning all 5 games while Brees is out, obviously they had a great team, but that's still not an easy thing to do. So there's going to be a lot of movement, and that's why we're doing that segment with free agent quarterbacks and obviously with what happens in the draft. But I personally would love to see Teddy Bridgewater in Chicago. I think that's a great place for him. I don't think that Trubisky is the guy there, but
cold and windy. He's not a big arm guy. It's cold and windy all the time.
I think they're in a win now situation.
I know. That Chicago's the one place I wouldn't do it. Warm weather dome, I'm all in on him.
Well, Carolina is obviously another place, but I don't necessarily know that that's building towards the future. Like if you're in that situation, I would just stay with Cam Newton. You know, the interesting thing, and the money probably doesn't work, but I don't know what Pittsburgh's plan is moving forward.
I've got a solution to that later today.
Okay.
You got to watch my Tominos theory.
It's another cheese for Tominos.
It's very interesting. And Pittsburgh's a fascinating team for a lot of quarterbacks.
It is, because Ben Roethlisberger going into his 17th season. He is going to be the quarterback this year, for sure.
That is it. And I think Ben's stuff is way worse than it's being reported. I don't think Ben... I think his salary cap hit this year is going to make him be there this year. Right.
And we saw what happened with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges this year.
That's not good enough.
No. So the Raiders are reportedly preparing to give Tom Brady a 2-year, $60 million deal when he hits the free agency in March. And there could be some other teams willing to give him a huge deal to leave New England as well. But according to Tom Curran, the Patriots are not worried about the money that will be thrown at Brady. The team thinks their business with him revolves around the direction of the offense and the pieces they can add around him next year, and not the size of the contract. Now, overall, I would agree, but I do think that the contract numbers being thrown out there is something important, is not something to completely ignore, considering that he has taken less money for so many years and has not been paid what he should be paid as Tom Brady and the best quarterback in the NFL. Now, obviously, coming off of the year that he had last year, it does obviously seem a little strange to all of us that the salary would be something that we're even discussing at this point. I don't get it.
This story leads me to believe Tom is coming back as long as he gets a say in the free agent acquisition of a Stephon Diggs. If he does, Tom's back. Because they don't have a second round.
Like we keep talking about this, why would the Patriots start doing anything differently than they've been doing now?
Because it's Tom's last year. Because they probably believe they're going to draft a quarterback. So they're going to tell Tom, listen, we're going to take a quarterback in this draft early. We don't have a second round pick. We may use the first. So I think they're going to have grown-up discussions at some point. I mean, God, if I worked with you for 15 years, and even if at the end it was tense, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd come up to you and say, listen, Joy, we're going to take another Herdline News. We're going to draft another Herdline Newser. And you're like, okay, this is my last year here. Make it special for me. Can you get me a better producer or whatever, something like that? And I would be Okay. I mean, I think at this point they're grown-ups. There's tension, but they're not going to lie to each other. If Tom says, get me Stephon Diggs, New England says, okay, but we are going to draft a quarterback with the first pick. And Tom would be, I'll sign off on it if you just get me. Because the Tom Curran story is saying it ain't a money thing. It's a, give me a player.
No, I think it is a player thing. But I think the money thing becomes important if they don't get a player.
By the way, I like your producer now. I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying at 15 years in, we would be honest with each other.
Are you not drafting a new hardline replacement?
Or you were drafting a new host, you would be honest with me and say, listen, this is the last year. Let's make it special.
You and I have honest conversations, and you didn't try and replace me with Jimmy Garoppolo, when I still had good years left in me. So there's some other elements in there.
Odd.
You know what I'm saying?
This whole thing has gone off the rails.
So finally, Joe Burrow is expected to be drafted first overall by the Bengals. Cincinnati's not really known for being a great organization, and Burrow continues to dance around questions about whether he would want to be there.
Dancing.
This is a long process, right? And they have their process that they have to go through. And so I'm just blessed to be in the position that I'm in. If they select me, they select me.
Yeah. If my wife said, do you love me? I'd say yes. Not, well, you have a process, I have a process. It depends. It's a long process.
It's not very committal.
Yeah, it's kind of, if you select me, just say, I want to be a Bengal. I'm from Ohio. Can't wait. Never said it.
Well, I mean, why would he say it? He shouldn't say it.
He absolutely shouldn't say it.
Listen, I obviously am a big Burrow fan. I think he should be the #1 overall pick. I would take him over to, I would love for the Dolphins to just give up a trade haul and move up. And maybe part of this, sort of non-committal on both sides is the Bengals trying to position themselves and see what they can get if they want to not take Burrow. But I think they do want Burrow. I think that the only people that would be mad at Joe Burrow if he said he doesn't want to go to the Bengals would be the Bengals.
That's right. Everybody else would get it.
Everyone else in the league would understand.
Absolutely.
There would not be pushback.
Nope.
He would not be a villain. He wouldn't be very well liked in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And that's probably it, because Cleveland's not going to care.
I'm not either.
Actually, Cleveland would very much appreciate if Joe Burrow forced his way out of Cincinnati. So he's going to have fans in Cleveland as well. You can't blame someone for trying to control their career, especially the way that the contracts are set up in the NFL.
Good stuff. Joy Taylor with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The
Eagle and Cowboy-in-Chief Orlando Scandrick stops by. How would it play if a player said, I'm not playing for my team? Orlando Scandrick next.